the way we've learned to deal with clients who always put a sense of urgency is to tell them, okay, you want it over a weekend, it'll cost you slightly higher. Okay?
Perfect.
Then they will know if it's real urgency or is it artificial or their own anxiety showing up. I mean, when we had to deal with it. Exactly. So then, then they'll back off. I'm okay, give it on Tuesday, whatever. So that's a way to manage. We have figured it out.
And it's also very peculiar is that once you add the tangent of litigations and court cases, it's done for sure. It may take some more years.
People need to know you have to wait for several years for it. So
one area which, especially in Indian organizations, always becomes an urgency is the succession planning.
Right.
So we never look into the succession planning part very seriously until and unless it comes to a kind of closure. Then it becomes very urgent. Either you bring a person overnight, being an HR I am saying, or then if that doesn't happen, we are compelled or forced to extend that person's kind of an service by another year or 6 months. So this is one area I have seen in most of the organizations, especially Indian organizations. They don't look at succession planning as a serious concern or as a matter of consequences, and that needs to be planned meticulously over a period of time, because we don't look at people data, people competencies, or the decision making in a very, very constructive or in a very, very qualitative manner. So then suddenly, overnight, iska to 30th June last day hai. What do I do? What do I do? So can you get someone? No, it will take 120 days. Then you extend by another 3 months by the time you bring. So these are the pockets where we always see there is a sense, there is an urgency within the organization. And then there are pockets where you feel that things may move on, systems and processes are in place, and then you don't need to push or automatically things would move on. So there are different areas where different kind of focuses go on in terms of which is to be termed at urgent and which is to be termed at important or not so urgent.
I think that also goes back to the planning piece.
Yeah, planning piece. Yeah.
If you plan it well enough, then
so that's a succession planning is actually
proper
a planning.
defining of prioritizing of task and planning is important before execution.
And like you mentioned, I think the leaders, if they know their people and who needs multiple follow-ups, who has the right competency to be able to deliver in 2 days versus 5 days, if they know that well enough, and that typically comes with a little bit of a tenured team, right, where they have worked with each other multiple times, then that just becomes easier. Then many a times I have done this, that where I know this person does not have enough competency on that area, but that he or she is the only one who is available. I will add a buffer. I'll say if this was normally done in 5 days, I'll try and convince the client this will take 10 days. Not easy, but then you plan it like that. And if you are able to, then that third sense of urgency does not go into a chaotic mode. If you can, that's a big
There's
if.
one more tangent to it. My urgency is not your urgency. Your urgency is not mine. Yeah. Say, for example, succession planning. If the person who is going to exit, and he is the person who has to decide who is his successor, if he is in an intention, I want another 6 more months to settle off my EMIs, I'm surely not going to settle it off.
Yeah, that's from the user's perspective. Yeah.
Correct. So
you have to look at the holistically from the organization's perspective.
One other thing that I have seen, just to filter out, as Sundari Madam was telling that, to filter out the pseudo emergencies see, in our culture is designed in such a way that we can't say no to bosses or customers. Okay. But try this trick once in a while. If there is too much of pressure coming in, if you keep saying yes, it will start building up. And somewhere or the other, start saying, learn to say no. No, boss, this is not happening. And then he will take back, suddenly this is like, always used to say yes. Suddenly this guy is saying, pushing it back. And then they will start applying filters that, okay, which is the real emergency? And that I've seen helps once in a while, but not all the time. Because you have to be very, again...
the leaders should know the real picture of the ground.
Exactly.
Right?
Because in world over, wherever you go, your resources are limited. No company has infinite resources, right? Small or big.
talking of talking of culture, just a quick anecdote. I've actually done that for campus recruitments, especially MBA, grads. If I am in the Western world, US and Europe, and I ask this question and I say, there is a task that'll take 8 hours, but I come to you, I'm your boss. I come to you, I say, I need this in 4 hours. Right? In the Western world, the response is, I'll sit with you, prioritize, figure out whatnot. In India, invariably, I'll try and do this. So going back to what you said, the saying no is difficult. Invariably, the answer is, I'll try. I'll do it faster. I'll do something. I'll make it work. I'll still do it in 4 hours. I'm like, boss, you cannot, right? So those 5-10% who actually comes back and says, I will push back and I'll say this take 8 hours. So you help me prioritize. If there is a reduced scope, if there's an added resource, what can we do to make it happen in 4 hours is a discussion. Those are the ones that we hire ultimately. So
I have also seen that creating what we call as manufactured urgency is a great opportunity to enforce innovation. And we have tried this in our organization, and
especially the Indian jugaad, if I can say.
Yeah, the reason is that today in the world of AI, there are so many shortcuts that are possible. Right now, products are being built with AI. Right, literally. So if an engineer is telling you that building this product feature is going to take you 3 weeks, right, you can question that assumption, right? Like why? Why is it going to take this time? So I feel like we need to also move away, especially in the context of AI, move away from the traditional resource utilization model that, okay, this is the work, this much it will take, so this much is the time. Let's question all that. Right, like today people are getting automated through AI employees, right? So I feel like in the new world, there's a huge opportunity for leaders to question all these resource timeline estimates that your team is throwing at you. Right, maybe they are stuck in time and not using all the latest tools. Right, so I feel like as leaders, we need to be really cognizant of that and question all of this. Get down to the basics. Okay, tell me why this is taking time. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Right? Like one of the things I keep telling my engineering teams is, why don't you use Cursor? Right? Cursor is a great tool where you can just automatically write code with AI. Right? Why do you have to manually start writing every single line of code? So I think those are some of the things that as leaders we can start use that as an opportunity.
So to add to what he's saying, you may be surprised that even in the legal world, AI is coming in a big way.
In legal, so it helps a lot because otherwise you have to consult a lot of books. Now you have an integrated system.
And this software has always been available. Software now is becoming much more advanced with all the books also available in soft copies. So earlier it used to be only cases. Now LexisNexis and all of them. So we've signed up for that software. But there are also AI new companies are coming up with solutions to say shorten, they say, some processes, not all. Research activity, diligence, some areas you can use. You can't use in all areas. But where we have, that's a leadership change in terms of even in our firm, we actively encourage. We have subscribed to some of these new tools that are coming up, which could help in efficiency, the work process. Not that we can cut away, but at least the time can be reduced. And then we are actively encouraging the younger lawyers to use that. Older lawyers, it's always difficult to learn new technology, but younger lawyers are able to. I'm telling them, use this. We're paying for it. You might use it, which is counterproductive. Earlier, we used to be like, don't rely. But at the same time, you need to have proper policies. Otherwise AI can bring in other errors and problems that hard to.
And we need to rely. There should be some tool to rely on the results, to validate the results of the AI.
That's generally human as of.
No, we have to do that. Only human has to do
As of
that.
now.
Human. Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
I'm saying AI and legal is not the hottest space.
Exactly.
Yeah, hottest place right now.
Exactly.
Funding like their friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. So I think we should summarize now. I think it's time. So yes, the leaders should be open to AI as another digital transformation that's happening, maybe to deal with urgencies and prioritize their tasks. Yeah.